Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Click, click. Cracks appeared from inside the blood-colored dragon egg, as if something was struggling to come out. However, the shell of this bloody dragon egg was obviously too hard. Even though there were countless cracks and gaps, it still did not break. And this undoubtedly angered a certain little devil inside. Bang! A small pink fist suddenly punched a huge hole in the hard and rough blood-colored eggshell. Boom! The entire bloody dragon egg was forcibly dismantled directly from the inside to the outside. The bloody eggshell above was knocked over directly. Under Chen Beiyuan's expectant gaze, there was a finely carved man with snow-white skin, tiny dragon horns, and dark purple eyes. He was naked and had scarlet dragon scales on key parts of his body. There seemed to be a tiny little tail waving slightly behind him. The cute little loli, whose whole body was soaked in transparent egg liquid, appeared in front of him. A pair of ignorant dark purple eyes were staring at him with curiosity. When he saw the little Lolita in front of him, Chen Beiyuan felt that the dragon race blood in his body began to stir wildly, as if he was surrendering to the little Lolita in front of him. This is normal. The dragon race bloodline in his body was condensed by absorbing the menstrual blood of the bloody dragon emperor, and thus awakened the beast's divine ability, blood dragon transformation. Now, after meeting the rightful owner, some strange reactions are normal. Chen Beiyuan's expression remained unchanged, and he easily suppressed this strangeness with his own terrifying demonic thoughts. He looked at the little silly dragon Anu, who had successfully transformed in front of him with soft eyes. He could easily sense that after successfully transforming, Anu was undoubtedly much stronger than before, and was not far away from breaking through the 7th grade beast. Yuan hug. Okay, hug. Looking at the little silly dragon Anu with a kawaii look on his face, he opened his pink arms and wanted to hug him. Chen Beiyuan only felt that a certain mentality in his heart was touched, and he had the same strange feeling as if his stupid thing raised a great accomplishment person. Well, this might mean raising Anu as a daughter. Even though he was only 18 years old and had a daughter who seemed to be only 8 years old, it was a bit inconvenient, but it didn't matter. He bent down to take Anu out of the eggshell and took out a towel from the system space. He first wiped his body clean, and then took out a set of fitting clothes to put on. As early as before, Chen Beiyuan had prepared the possibility of Anu's transformation in advance, and prepared baby clothes, children's clothes, adult clothes. Advertisement. It has to be said that he always pays a lot more attention and pampering to Anu, the little silly dragon he raised. From the beginning to the end, Anu was carried out with an obedient and cute expression, like a finely carved rag doll. Soon, Anu appeared in front of Chen Beiyuan, wearing a red-sleeved shawl dress, with 2 cute buns on her head, covering the 2 dragon horns, with a cute face and biting her fingers. Chen Beiyuan nodded with satisfaction, with a bit of relief on his face. Putting aside everything else, Anu's successful transformation will undoubtedly save him a lot of trouble. Without changing the ontology, it is undoubtedly possible to reduce the possibility of early exposure. The previous Anu's own identity was still too obvious, and it was really difficult to conceal the familiarity with her existence. Especially those strange double eyes are his iconic feature. Now, turning into a human form has added a lot of confusion. Those strange double eyes also turned into dark purple eyes. As long as you don't use it easily, those strange double eyes will not appear. But for some reason, Chen Beiyuan always felt that Anu's pair of dark purple eyes felt inexplicably familiar, very much like the way he used the prison-suppressing magic manual. It is said that when a ferocious beast takes shape, it will refer to some of the characteristics of the person closest to it and the person it loves the most. Chen Beiyuan thought to himself. Obviously, this rumor should be true. However, Chen Beiyuan obviously didn't notice the strange look in Anu's eyes at this moment. She had never been so obedient before she transformed. At this time, a sound of stomach gurgling suddenly sounded. A slave is hungry. Anu, who had always been very well behaved, had a special change in his eyes at this moment, looking straight at Chen Beiyuan in front of him. At this moment, She was almost at the height of Chen Beiyuan's waist, and where her eyes are focused, Chen Beiyuan was stunned and almost didn't react. Anu stretched out his hand, then pointed at himself, and opened his mouth. Just like Jerry's silly nephew in Tom and Jerry, he looked at him expectantly. Ah, advertisement. Ah, you are so big. Snapped. In the end, a certain little silly dragon not only failed to get what he wanted, but also suffered a brain breakdown. I knew there was something wrong. When have you ever been so obedient? It's like a different dragon. Ah. He didn't get what he wanted. At this moment, the little silly dragon that had always been pretending to be very well-behaved exploded in an instant. He jumped, spun, and sat on Chen Beiyuan's head, grabbing his hair wildly, biting and messing around. But in the end, it wasn't until Chen Beiyuan took out a bottle of animal milk that he calmed down the incompetent and furious little dragon that kept barking. 3 days have passed. The leeks are almost grown, and it's time to harvest them. Forest of 10,000 beasts. A wide area of ground. A huge alien with an ugly face and skin as hard as stone was sitting on the ground at the moment. This is clearly an adult ogre. In front of this ogre, a bonfire was burning. A few sharp branches were stuck in the ground, and food was hanging and being grilled. At a glance, the barbecue food was a blonde head. The dazzling blonde hair was now swallowed up by the flames, and the ferocious and desperate face was also swallowed up by the flames bit by bit, and it was sizzling and oily. Next to the head were his hands, feet, and torso, which were pierced on the branches one by one and placed on the bonfire for barbecue. Apparently, the raw materials for this barbecue were contributed by a certain blonde prodigy of the human race. Unlucky enough, he met the ogre, the best at sneak attack and hunting among the alien races. In the end, he became the prey and was dismembered bit by bit. Click. Perhaps thinking that it was almost done, the ogre stretched out his hand, pulled out his eyes, threw them into his mouth, bit into them, and the juice exploded instantly. That ugly and disgusting face showed an expression of enjoyment. Human, delicious. Just when the ogre was about to continue enjoying the delicious food, he suddenly discovered that there were 2 figures, one large and one small, beside the campfire. Ogre Ibuprofen, a rank 6 alien race, a mutant hybrid between the human race and the vampire race, the 721st on the void ranking, and holds 6 void tokens. Chen Beiyuan, who was holding Anu's hand, didn't even look at the horrific scene burning in the bonfire in front of him. He looked at the ogre Ibuprofen in front of him with a faint look and said calmly, "Born in the Qin family of Donghua, he often went to live on the border front when he was a child, and he saw countless human tragedies. The scene before him was nothing to him. Damn it." The ugly and disgusting face of the ogre Ibuprofen suddenly changed. He stopped chewing in his mouth and felt a creeping fear all over his body. At this moment, it seemed as if it was being targeted by the giant dragon at the top of the food chain, without any thought of resistance. This feeling of fear has only been clearly felt by the monsters in Secret Realm. "Wait, Your Excellency, I am willing to pay." A void power suddenly appeared on it. Before the power of the void completely covers its body. Click. The huge head was violently twisted off, and immediately a huge force came, and the vertebrae were pulled out like a sheep or scorpion. Puff. Smelly blood spurted out from his neck, like a fountain of blood. Snapped. A void token fell from the hand of the headless corpse, and the power of the void was suddenly interrupted and disappeared without a trace. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. The ogre Ibuprofen showed despair and unwillingness. It was obvious that he did not expect the visitor to be so decisive and directly killed him. It even chose to give in. Every Void Walker who enters the Void Secret Realm is qualified to give up the trial. As long as you choose to give up, you will be enveloped bit by the power of the Void, and will eventually be teleported away from the Secret Realm. And its Void Order will also become an ownerless thing, and can be obtained by later generations. However, this kind of transmission takes time and can be interrupted. It didn't even see the person's face, So it chose to give up the trial without hesitation and chose to be covered in the void and teleport away. It already showed the intention of showing weakness and bowing. As a result, the other party didn't even give it the slightest chance. Why? The unscrewed ogre's head looked at the strange human in front of him and muttered to himself. Cha! Chen Beiyuan expressionlessly inserted the sheep scorpion in his hand into the bonfire, letting the flames burn it bit by bit. With the remaining consciousness of the ogre ibuprofen, he looked at the strange human in front of him, and then at the human head and limbs stuck on the branches for barbecue next to him, and seemed to understand something. Advertisement. The darkness, like the tide, swallowed up its consciousness little by little. The weak should prey on the strong, as it should be. Foreigners can kill people, and people can also kill foreigners. The blood feud between them has long been forged. Things like the ogre killing humans with ibuprofen are not an isolated case. They can happen in every corner of the Void's secret realm. The only problem is that it was unlucky to meet Chen Beiyuan. Swish. On the ground, the Void token of the ogre ibuprofen was sucked up by a suction force and came into Chen Beiyuan's hand, gently colliding with his Void token. A burst of Void power flashed through, and the two Void tokens suddenly merged together. The number of the Void order in Chen Beiyuan's hand suddenly changed from 1 to 7. However, his ranking on the Void ranking is still number 1007, without any change. You need to wait until the next day for it to be refreshed again. Suck, suck, suck. Anu, who was slurping the bottle, stared with a pair of big round eyes. He didn't react at all to the bloody scene in front of him and continued to slurp the animal's milk. But after sucking and sucking, it stopped. Anu looked at the empty bottle in his hand in confusion, and then looked at Ayuan with his cute big eyes. Ah, slave, still want. No, I'll get fat. Snapped. At the bonfire behind him, the ogre was stuck on the ground and grilled. The head of the ogre, which was still staring at death, suddenly had a milk bottle hit on it. A certain angry little silly dragon was reluctant to hit a yuan with a milk bottle, so he could only vent his anger on other targets. Let's go, look for the next target. Snow Demon Girl, rank 6 middle-level alien, 416th on the Void ranking, holds 9 Void tokens. Chen Beiyuan looked at the Snow Demon Girl who was holding her neck and showing her original shape, with sharp teeth and claws, and a ferocious face. Her eyes were calm, and terrifying demonic flames suddenly burst out from her palms, burning her up. Snapped. After the flames burned, the token hidden in the Snow Demon Girl's body suddenly fell into his hand. Advertisement. 8-foot female, rank 6 elementary level alien, 916th on the Void ranking, holding 2 Void tokens. The 8-foot girl who was hunting suddenly heard a cold voice coming from behind her. Before she could react, a hot magic flame penetrated the center of her eyebrows, and the skin all over her body burned instantly. Snapped. The Void order fell to the ground. Also dropped along with it were a pair of white blouses the size of watermelons. Anu looked curious and wanted to pick up the blouse that was bigger than her head to take a look, but she got a slap on the butt. Don't pick things up. Chen Beiyuan educated him with a serious face, but he couldn't help but glance at him a few times. It has to be said that the method of cutting leeks that Chen Beiyuan chose before is clear. Rather than hunting them one by one from the beginning, it is better to wait for the leeks to grow and cut them bit by bit. His own perception is already strong, and coupled with the sense of smell of Anu, this little silly dragon, it is not difficult to find the target. Of course, in addition to alien races and ferocious beasts, he also encountered some human races during this period. In this regard, Chen Beiyuan showed a more friendly side. Leave the token and cut off your arms, and you can go away. You brat, who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant with me, a little guy who doesn't have all his hair? Boy, the little guy next to you is pretty good looking. It makes me happy. Maybe I can let you go? It's a pity that these days, it's hard to persuade the devil with words, so who would give up the opportunity easily? Either they just run away without saying a word, or there are those who want to surround and kill them because of the large number of people. Then there's no way. The opportunity has been given. There is nothing you can do if you don't listen. You will die anyway. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Let me go, let me go. Ah. In just one night, the number of human lives, animal lives, and alien lives lost at the hands of Chen Beiyuan was no less than double digits. He was like a god of murder, harvesting every target he encountered with an expressionless expression. The next day, with the end of the 24 hours, the Void List, covering the entire Void secret realm, began to refresh. In an instant, all the myriad races prodigy located in the Void secret realm stopped what they were doing, and all looked at the Void List that was starting to refresh in the sky, with a hint of expectation in their eyes. Actually, rather than looking at the Void List, it's actually just looking at the top 10. People will only remember the strong ones at the top. As for the following, the top prodigies who can enter the top 10 of the Void ranking are almost all the top forces in the world, and each of them has a big background. In a sense, Void List not only shows his personal strength. Behind it is a secret competition among the top forces. Donghua Empire, Wanlong Island, Qingqiu Fox Clan, Night Elf Kingdom, Bald Eagle Alliance, Sunfall Empire, Slavic Empire, Tauran Empire, Sakura Kingdom. Prodigy, the top forces in the world, has almost completed the top 10 on the Void List. Among them, the Donghua Empire occupies 2 places, faintly beating out other top forces. This undoubtedly made the rest of the human race countries and the rest of the alien beast forces feel unprecedentedly dissatisfied. Those who can enter the secret realm of the Void are prodigy of all races, and they all have their own pride. Who is willing to let the forces behind him be suppressed? Who is willing to admit that they are inferior to others? Therefore, in the past few days, prodigy of all races have almost been holding their breath. The top 10 positions on the Void ranking have changed almost every day. The competition is so fierce that it is unimaginable. Aeoli, who was born in 10,000 Dragons Island and ranked second on the Void ranking, has always been very dissatisfied with Jiang Yunfan, who is pressing down on him and has always wanted to outdo him. It's a pity that every time, there are only a few Void tokens missing, resulting in only second place. In today's Void ranking, Master Aeoli will definitely be able to reach the top of the list. The man named Jiang Yunfan from the Donghua Empire was just lucky enough to get a few extra Void tokens, and he only occupied the top spot on the Void ranking for a few days. Advertisement. I heard that the number 1 young person in the Donghua Empire today is a human named Chen Beiyuan. Even Jiang Yunfan is no match for him. As a result, this person is still ranked at the bottom of the 1,000 list. Therefore, it can be seen that the Donghua people are weak. Jiang Yunfan, who ranks first on the Void ranking, must have some moisture. Ha ha ha, Jiang Yunfan can't even compare to a loser at the bottom. Why should he compare with Lord Aeoli? Yes, Lord Aeoli is the direct descendant of Wanlong Island. He possesses the noble dragon bloodline. How can he be compared with the heir of the human race empire? In this Void secret realm, Lord Aeoli's strength is the best among all. Family first. This king of the Void must be Lord Aeoli. As a direct descendant of Wanlong Island, Aeoli is naturally surrounded by many followers who have not yet transformed. Most of these followers are hybrid ferocious beasts with part of the dragon race bloodline. Facing Aeoli, the dragon son of Wanlong Island, they naturally showed their willingness to surrender subconsciously. In order to please this direct descendant, they did not hesitate to disparage Chen Beiyuan, Jiang Yunfan, and other Donghua people to improve their own reputation. Facing the compliments from the followers around him, Aeoli naturally nodded slightly and accepted it proudly. Although Aeoli is still only a 6th grade ferocious beast now, he has transformed in advance due to his powerful dragon race bloodline. Of course, being the proud dragon race is, albeit in human form, he still maintains most of the characteristics of dragon race. There is a pair of majestic dragon horns on the top of his head, his cheeks are covered with fiery red dragon scales, and a thick dragon tail behind him is burning with hot dragon flames. I killed many human race experts yesterday, And the number of void tokens in my hand has reached an astonishing 156, which is 60 more than yesterday. I must be number 1 on the void ranking today. The sky began to blur with those fiery red and proud dragon eyes, as if they had anticipated the next result. However, when the void list was refreshed and the rankings were revealed, Ao Lai's proud face froze instantly. Not only it, but also the rest of the prodigy tribes fell into deathly silence when they saw the latest void list. Because the top 10 on the void list have undergone drastic changes. A void walker, belonging to the human race Donghua Empire, actually made it into the top 10 and even ranked in the top 3, almost knocking off the first place. Void list. Record the number of void tokens held by void walkers, refreshed every 24 hours. First place, Zhang Yunfan, human race Donghua Empire, 198. Second place, Chen Beiyuan, human race Donghua Empire, 197. Advertisement. Third place, Ao Lai, dragon race ferocious beast, 156. Fourth place, Tushan Su Su, Qingqiu fox clan ferocious beast, 155. Fifth place, Tina, Night Elf Alien, 148. Sixth place, Wang Daoxian, Human Race Donghua Empire, 132. Seventh place, Bloodbat Aga, Human Race Sunfall Empire, 108. Eighth place, Lion Caesar, Human Race Bald Eagle Alliance, 105. Ninth place, Gar, Human Race Slavic Empire, 98. 10th place, Bloody Bones, Bloody Torn Alien, 89. In an instant, the powerful men of all races in the entire Void's secret realm fell into a deathly silence as they looked at the unfamiliar yet familiar name that ranked second on the Void list. Many prodigies of all races are familiar with Chen Beiyuan and are even very familiar with him. After all, the Donghua Chen family has always been famous all over the world for beating up vicious alien beasts. Who among the ferocious alien beasts entrenched near the Donghua Empire has not been attacked by the Chen family? Even if you don't know him, you will still be impressed by Chen Beiyuan's name at the bottom of the void list every day, coupled with the help of caring people. The dignified young master of the Chen family has always been at the bottom of the void ranking. It's not just Prodigy who is a ferocious alien beast waiting to see the joke. Even some people inside human race are waiting for a laugh. Doubts about Chen Beiyuan have never ceased. As for the person involved, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have disappeared, never appeared, and no explanation was given. But now, all doubts have disappeared. Overnight, from the bottom position of 1,000 people away, he went all the way to the second place in the void ranking, pushing Ao Lai, the Dragon Son, to the third place and almost knocked down the first place Zhang Yunfan. What is this concept? This almost slapped the faces of everyone who had questioned before and severely stepped on them. Ao Lai's originally arrogant face instantly turned livid, and he stared at the void list, almost spitting out fire. I thought that I would definitely be able to rank first on the void ranking this time. As a result, not only did he fail, but he was also pushed to third place on the void ranking by a Donghua guy. This result is undoubtedly a slap in the face for the proud dragon race. Originally, Zhang Yunfan had been suppressed for 3 days because he was so angry that he had no place to vent his anger. Now there is another Chen Beiyuan. Boom! Terrifying dragon flames filled his body, and a terrifying high temperature instantly erupted, and a liquid similar to lava emerged from the surface of his skin. The pair of dragon eyes that were almost ready to spit out fire slowly lowered their eyes, as if looking for a few targets to vent their anger on. Bang! The ferocious beasts that had just spoken to please were instantly swallowed up by the terrifying lava. They didn't even make a sound to beg for mercy. Their flesh and blood evaporated instantly, turning into white bones on the ground. Dragon race is not a good-tempered race. Among the many ferocious beasts and alien races, the dragon race is also at the top of the list. Even the human race countries are not willing to provoke them easily. Under such circumstances, there are naturally very few existences that dragon race can be afraid of. As a result, they naturally developed an arrogant character. Find the Donghua man named Chen Beiyuan for my highness. If you can't find it, You won't have to live anymore." The furious Ao Lai obviously held a grudge against Chen Beiyuan. As the heir to the royal family of the Donghua Empire, Zhang Yunfan would probably cause a war between the Donghua Empire and Hualong Island if he were killed. Therefore, he still has some scruples. In comparison, Chen Beiyuan, the young master of the Chen family, is obviously easier to manipulate. He didn't believe it. Could the Donghua Empire go to war with Hualong Island over a young master from an aristocratic family? No matter how powerful the Chen family is, they are not the boss of the Donghua Empire. His father is the owner of Beilong Island of Hualong Island and one of the most powerful people in the world. In terms of background alone, he, Aolai, is not weaker than anyone else. Of course, if the Donghua man named Chen Beiyuan is willing to voluntarily hand over his void order as the dragon son of Hualong Island, he will not be able to show mercy and spare his life. Everything depends on whether the other party understands or not. Don't worry, Sir Aolai. We will find Chen Beiyuan's location as soon as possible. Advertisement. The followers of the ferocious beasts around him all agreed. Do they dare to refuse? The white bones and corpses next to them clearly told them the seriousness of offending Aolai, the son of the dragon. Bloody Jungle. Zhang Yunfan looked at the names on the void list, and a hint of complexity and solemnity appeared on his majestic face. As expected of Chen Beiyuan, he soared to second place on the void ranking overnight, almost knocking you out. The Donghua Chen family has a Qilin. In terms of age alone, he is almost one step older than Chen Beiyuan. But in terms of strength, he probably doesn't have much of an advantage. Such talent can be described as terrifying. Chen Beiyuan, a member of the Chen family of Donghua, dressed in a green shirt, with 3,000 green hair hanging down, Tu Shansu Su's face was charming, and his eyes seemed to be full of charm. His face moved slightly, and he murmured to himself, "If you don't make a sound, it's enough. If you make a blockbuster, what a Chen Beiyuan." Wearing a mysterious Taoist robe and a weathered face, Wang Daoxian's eyes seemed to have the 5 elements and 8 trigrams flashing through his eyes, with a hint of emotion on his face. The Donghua Empire accounts for almost 3 of the top 10 on the void list, and there is almost a faint trend of becoming the first empire of the human race. Will prodigy of all races really agree to this kind of thing? Who would be willing to be a stepping stone? Not only the ferocious beast aliens don't want to see this kind of thing, but even the human race itself doesn't want to see it. Lion King Caesar looked at the void list solemnly, his expression dark, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Snapped. Wearing a gentleman's uniform and a rosy face, the Bloodbat Yaga casually threw a blood-drained alien corpse to the ground and looked at the list on the void list with cold eyes. Especially after he paused for a moment when the name Chen Beiyuan suddenly appeared, a sickly flush appeared on his face. "I really want to try how delicious your blood is." Advertisement. The Donghua people need to restrain themselves, otherwise, this void secret realm will probably become their exclusive show. However, those ferocious beasts and alien races will definitely take the lead. So let them consume the power of the Donghua people first. Gal from the Slavic Empire looked cold and muttered to himself. He is huge like a huge and ferocious ice bear, but he has cunning and wisdom that belies his appearance. This time, Beiyuan became a sensation and made the Donghua Empire famous. At the same time, it also unintentionally made the entire Donghua Empire a leader and was targeted by countless people. If I guess correctly, something will definitely happen against the Donghua Empire next. Even Beiyuan will be deliberately targeted by many parties. Bai Ruawei's face was solemn, and she obviously saw the danger. At this moment, beside her, in addition to the blazing bear and the little black tiger at the beginning, there was a 2-headed giant turtle and an ocelot. During this period of time, she recovered several indigenous, licking dogs, one after another, so she got a lot of opportunities and her strength greatly increased. Volcanic Canyon. Jiang Yunhua was locked in a bitter battle at the moment. The terrifying phoenix real fire erupted one after another, repelling the lava giants that were pouring in around him one by one. In her hand, she was holding a lava core that was emitting dazzling light. Obviously, this is what makes those lava giants crazy. Even though Jiang Yunhua's strength was terrifying, he was gradually at a disadvantage when faced with a steady stream of lava giants. At this moment, on the surface of the volcano, there was a figure lying behind the boulder, quietly peeking at the battlefield below. This person is surprisingly Lin Xiao, the son of fortune who was in the desert before. He was actually able to escape from that forbidden desert place and come here. Master, is this the opportunity you mentioned? Lin Xiao looked at the battlefield below, lowered his head, and spoke to the black ring in his hand. The black ring suddenly emitted a divine light, and a majestic and charming voice suddenly appeared. Boy, you are blessed. I thought you could get a piece of lava core to forge your soul and break through the 6th grade War King. I didn't expect that there is a girl with the body of a fire phoenix here. The body of a fire phoenix is the most powerful thing in the world. It is an extremely rare and powerful physique, and its owner almost has the ability to be reborn from the ashes. If you can mate with it, you will definitely get some great benefits. The body of fire phoenix? Lin Xiao looked shocked. The body of fire phoenix? Master, are you sure Jiang Yunhua really has the body of a fire phoenix? Lin Xiao's face was startled, and then his face became excited, and even his breathing became a little faster. That's natural. Are you questioning my teacher's gaze? The charming and majestic voice inside the black ring seemed dissatisfied. Shower didn't dare. Shower was just excited and a little unbelievable. Lin Xiao heard that the master in the black ring was dissatisfied, and he quickly bowed his head and apologized. The origin of his master is not simple. He was trapped in the forbidden desert before and could not find a way out no matter what. Just when he fell into despair and thought about whether to give up the Void Order and was teleported away, he was suddenly swallowed by the desert sand and entered a place. A magnificent ruined palace. In that dilapidated palace, he found a black ring enshrined. According to the charming and majestic voice inside the black ring, she is the 9 profound immortal from Kyushu Xuanjia. She was murdered by an adulterer, causing her body to be broken and her soul to be broken. Only a trace of her remnant soul is stored in the Xian ring, and came to this world. Lin Xiao was able to come here because he was destined to her, and he was willing to accept her as a registered disciple, teach him the secrets of magical skills, and train him to become a peerless powerhouse. She only hoped that Lin Xiao would one day rebuild her physical body, return to the Kyushu mysterious realm with her, and kill her enemies. At that time, she will consider accepting Lin Xiao as her direct disciple. Seeing the huge opportunity and the pie hitting his head, Lin Xiao instantly fell into ecstasy, and without saying a word, he knelt down and kowtowed to become his master. Of course, he is not a fool. He knows that evil objects and demons from other secret realm worlds often come to the real world and confuse people's hearts. In order to test whether the fairy master stored in the mysterious ring was real, he first proposed to leave this desert. As a result, he really left successfully. Moreover, I don't know if the fairy master in the Xian ring saw his little thoughts, and with a few random guidances, he got a lot of benefits in the void secret realm. In addition, the fairy master pointed out several mistakes in his cultivation, which made his cultivation improve by leaps and bounds. He benefited a lot time and time again, making Lin Xiao convinced of the identity of this master. Even this time, he came to the volcano canyon to get the lava core and break through the 6th grade War King, all because of the intention of his fairy master. However, I didn't expect that I would get an unexpected bonus, meeting Jiang Yunhua, the emperor's daughter. Advertisement. Lin Xiao, whose heart was already tickled by the charming and majestic voice of his fairy master, now looked at Jiang Yunhua with fiery eyes. He who possesses the wordless medical scripture is naturally aware of the existence of the fire phoenix body. People with such a special physique can almost be said to be born kings of flames, and have the power to control all the flames in the world. What is even more terrifying is that this kind of physique has the terrifying talent of rebirth from the ashes. Even though he was seriously injured and dying just a moment ago, he may be back to his peak condition the next moment. It can be called a scumbag to the extreme. Although this kind of rebirth talent ability is limited, but it has to be denied that people with such a physique must be one of the most difficult beings once they grow up. According to the unwritten medical classic, those with the body of a fire phoenix must have strong fire in their body, which is prone to accumulation of fire poison and has extremely strong desires. If I can mate with him through special means, I can inherit part of the talent of the fire phoenix body. It seems that I have to be a hero to save the beauty. Lin Xiao looked greedily at the beautiful and majestic figure below who was in trouble and being surrounded by countless lava giants, and murmured to himself. At this moment, he not only coveted Jiang Yunhua's body, but also had some dark thoughts. That is to take revenge on Chen Beiyuan. He knew very well that Jiang Yunhua was Chen Beiyuan's woman. He had to pay back the humiliation Chen Beiyuan had given him before. However, at this moment, he did not realize that deep in his shoulder, a very secret evil thought was quietly monitoring him. Forest of 10,000 Beasts. Chen Beiyuan, who was carrying the little silly dragon Anu on his shoulders, had twinkling eyes and a trace of thinking on his face. The 9 profound immortal sons of the 9 continents Xuanjie? This person did not appear in the original work, so he is a hidden character outside the plot? Like a silly little dragon? Son of Fortune is really blessed. Even if he is suppressed so badly by me, he still has the opportunity to come to his door. Advertisement. However, there is something wrong with the situation of this 9th profound immortal. It is obvious that he was severely injured, and the remaining remnant soul is curled up in the mysterious ring, which is greatly restricted. I have to say that his previous method of deliberately leaving a trace of demonic thoughts in Lin Zhao's body was right. At least Son of Fortune Lin Zhao's every move cannot escape his eyes. Even the conversation between Lin Xiao and his fairy master was always under his surveillance. I don't know if it's because Lin Zhao's fairy master is too weak, or because the magic thoughts of the prison-suppressing magic scripture are too terrifying and hidden, so they have never been discovered. As for Lin Zhao's little thoughts, he naturally saw them clearly. I really don't have a long memory. I always like to do some little tricks that are not there. If you want to play the trick of a hero saving a beauty, you have to be able to do it. A sneer appeared at the corner of Chen Beiyuan's mouth. If he had just entered the Void Secret Realm, he would have been worried about whether something would happen to Jiang Yunhua. But now, with his intervention, Jiang Yunhua's strength has improved by leaps and bounds during this period, and it is unknown how much stronger it is than in the original work. Nowadays, it seems that he is in danger of being forced by the lava giant, but in fact, he is just honing his fighting skills. She didn't show her true strength. Therefore, he is not worried about Jiang Yunhua's safety. In contrast, he was more interested in Lin Zhao's fairy master. For some reason, he always had some weird premonitions. He always felt that there was something wrong with Lin Zhao's fairy master. This premonition was strange, but it also attracted his attention. Looks like I need to use Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique to check it out. Appearances and skin can deceive people, but luck and destiny cannot deceive people. I want to see what the hell you are. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were deep and he murmured secretly. Suddenly, his ears tightened. Suck, suck, suck. The little silly dragon Anu was holding a new milk bottle in his mouth, slurping hard, and at the same time, he was riding on his shoulders, holding his ears. His little face was full of excitement, as if he was riding a horse, and he was giggling. Ride a Yuan, drive, drive, drive. The little silly dragon Anu held Chen Beiyuan's 2 big ears and held the milk bottle in his mouth. With an excited and silly face, he controlled the speed of a Yuan's progress and drove the milk bottle. He who rides a dragon will eventually be ridden by a dragon. Although Chen Beiyuan didn't know why the little silly dragon Anu was so excited about riding on him. However, considering Dragon Race's arrogant character, it should be considered normal to like being on top. Of course, these are just small details. At this moment, he was obviously more interested in Lin Zhao's fairy master, who suddenly appeared. He likes to eliminate any potential threats in advance. He had not taken action before, mainly because Lin Xiao was in a forbidden desert place and it was difficult for him to get over. Now, the distance between them is not that far. He raised his eyes and looked into the depths of the 10,000 beasts forest, thought for a moment, and finally withdrew his gaze and murmured to himself, "Ingsho fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit haven't started yet. That means there is still time. In that case, let's go see our old friends." Boom. Chen Beiyuan unabashedly erupted with terrifying demonic energy, and his whole body turned into a terrifying dark purple stream of light and rushed straight towards the north. The terrifying demonic flames burned the atmosphere wantonly, and the terrifying dark purple flames spread in all directions, almost burning up the entire sky. The huge movement caused by it instantly alarmed all the ferocious beasts and monsters in the entire 10,000 beast forest. In an instant, it attracted countless surprised and uncertain glances. Even many prodigy from all races were frightened by this sudden huge movement. You must know that the secret realm of the void has many high-level ferocious beasts and monsters from other worlds with terrifying power. If one of them is not good, they will be targeted by those guys. Even Zhang Yunfan, Aolai, Tushan Su, monsters that are ranked in the first rank among the prodigy of all races would not do such crazy things. However, Chen Beiyuan did it so blatantly and unscrupulously, not caring about the monsters in the void's secret realm at all. Anu, who was so excited and silly, appeared in the sky before she could react. The bottle in her mouth was thrown away. She subconsciously clamped Ayuan's neck to prevent her whole body from falling. When a normal person faces this sudden situation, even if he is not frightened to death, he will be frightened half of his life. Although this fool was just stunned for a moment, he immediately started shouting excitedly. Ah, 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 Yuan. So disgusting, harmful. Faster, 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 faster. Snapped. Advertisement. Suddenly a milk bottle fell from the sky and hit a certain behemoth who was sleeping so sweetly. Swish. A pair of huge, ferocious eyes opened suddenly. Bloodshot eyes instantly covered them, full of shock and anger. As the overlord of this forest of beasts, no one has dared to disturb it for a long time. Who lives impatiently? The giant beast as huge as a hill slowly stood up and looked around with ferocious eyes, trying to find out who the murderer was. Just at this moment, a sneaky, big black mouse with a black body and a broken tail suddenly came into view. How come those damn fools haven't found me yet? Oh, when I go back, I must kill all those trash? Damn Chen Beiyuan, if it weren't for you, how could my noble prince of the Silver Wolf tribe end up like this? Even his tail would be lost. Just wait for me, sooner or later one day. Braga huddled up in a ball and looked around furtively. At this moment, it is no longer as unruly as it was in the Temple of the Void. The entire wolf was extremely embarrassed, looking like a bereaved dog. It seems that it has not been doing well these days. Not only did he fail to find his own tribe, but he was beaten several times for no reason and couldn't even eat anything that was hot in his mouth. At this moment, its resentment has almost condensed into substance. However, at this moment, it was chattering and full of resentment, but it had not yet noticed that a huge mountain-like thing suddenly appeared behind it, and a pair of violent, huge eyes were staring at it without saying a word. Boom! A violent earthquake suddenly appeared. A small scream just appeared, and was immediately covered by the sound of a giant object hitting the ground. Boom! A huge stream of magic flames flashed across the sky, and the terrifying air explosion instantly attracted the attention of many terrifying beasts native to the Void's secret realm. A giant crocodile beast whose entire body was covered with pitch-black scales, stained with stinky sludge, and exuding the terrifying pressure of the peak of 7th-grade ferocious beasts, suddenly escaped from the void and wanted to kill the magic flame meteor. However, as soon as it killed it, it saw a simple and broken white bone-long bow suddenly appear in the stream of demonic flames and pointed directly at it. Ancient dragon-slaying bow. No arrows were nocked, nor bows drawn. Advertisement. Just a little finger resting directly on the bowstring, as if it was a joke. Tear. The ferocious expression of the giant crocodile beast instantly turned to panic. The killing action came to a sudden stop in midair, and it fled back to the poisonous swamp in the forest behind it without hesitation. When the other malicious eyes saw the ancient and broken white bone long bow, they subconsciously withdrew their gaze and chose to turn a blind eye to someone's wantonness. Swish! Seeing that no one who was short-sighted came out to stop him, Chen Beiyuan took the ancient dragon-slaying bow back into the system space and continued to move forward. Volcanic Canyon. Jiang Yunhua, who was under siege at the moment and was in a desperate situation, suddenly burst out with terrifying pressure, and his aura instantly increased tenfold. A nearly solid fire phoenix descended instantly, easily killing the lava giants that were coming from around it. Even the entire extinct volcano was directly hit by this terrifying blow, creating a huge crater, spewing hot lava crazily towards the sky, like a natural disaster. Gulu. Seeing this horrifying scene, Lin Xiao, who was hiding in the dark and preparing to go out to save the beauty as a hero, was almost scared to death. How is this possible? How could she be so powerful? With such strength, even Chen Beiyuan may not be able to defeat her. He murmured to himself. Even he couldn't withstand Jiang Yunhua's terrifying blow to summon the fire phoenix. If he didn't do it well, he might be dead. This will undoubtedly make his original plan completely fail. What a girl! She can actually mobilize the fire phoenix blood in her body and summon the phoenix to come. However, if she does this, her strength will also fall into a short-term slump. In the Xin Ring, that charming and majestic voice appeared again. Stuck in a brief slump? Lin Xiao, who was doubting his life, suddenly found that Jiang Yunhua's aura began to weaken crazily after the explosion, and his eyes suddenly showed a hint of joy and cruelty. This is undoubtedly a great opportunity. Since the hero can't figure out how to save the beauty, then let's do it. Chen Beiyuan, I can't take revenge on you, so I'll ask your woman to calculate the interest. At that time, as long as the murders are silenced and the corpses are destroyed, no one will know that he did it. Just when Lin Zhao's evil thoughts began to spread crazily, the fairy master's charming and slightly anxious voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Shower! Be careful, someone is coming. No, he is coming for you. Run away. You are no match for that person. Fairy master's slightly anxious voice was undoubtedly like a bucket of cold water poured directly on Lin Zhao's evil-fired head, causing the cruelty and ferocity on his face to freeze for an instant. Ever since he met the fairy master's elegant, noble, indifferent, and arrogant temperament had left a very deep impression on him. Even after he revealed the 9th grade technique, Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra, although he was a little surprised, he immediately became calm, as if he didn't care about the 9th grade technique. This undoubtedly made Lin Xiao feel that his fairy master was unfathomable. In Lin Zhao's mind, the fairy master's cultivation during his lifetime was at least that of an 8th grade war emperor, or even a higher being. But this was the first time he heard such an anxious voice from his fairy master. This means that the terror of the visitor is far beyond his imagination and may even kill him. Boom! A huge booming air explosion suddenly struck from a distance. The violent and terrifying dark purple demonic flames almost dyed the entire sky red. A creeping feeling of fear instantly surged into my heart. Lin Zhao's eyes were horrified. Looking at the stream of magic flames approaching rapidly in the distance, he felt a chill surge into his heart from the soles of his feet, and his entire body was icy cold. Because he suddenly saw the dark, deep, and cold eyes in the stream of magic flames that dyed the world red. Chen Beiyuan? Xiaoer, run away quickly. This man's magic power is so weird that even the master can't see through his background. His origin is definitely unusual. Moreover, he has the residual aura of Emperor Weapon on him. In the Xin Ring, the slightly anxious voice of the fairy master sounded again. Emperor Weapon? 8th grade Emperor Weapon? Lin Zhao's pupil shrank, his face turned pale, and he ran away without hesitation. Volcanic Canyon. Jiang Yunhua, whose face was slightly pale, was panting heavily and dripping with sweat. The aura on his body fell into a sluggish state, and the fire phoenix bloodline that had been boiling in his body also fell silent. The terrifying blow that summoned the phantom of the phoenix just now consumed almost all her strength. However, the lava giant corpses everywhere in front of him was the best result. The entire lava giant clan was directly wiped out by the blow she just delivered that could be called a dimensionality-reducing blow. Advertisement. Even the leader of the lava giant, who was comparable to the peak of 7th grade ferocious beasts, could not withstand the terrifying blow just now. It would have been almost impossible to do this before. But after entering the void's secret realm, in just a few days, her strength had undergone earth-shaking changes, and she was countless times stronger than before. It almost saved her decades of hard work. Zhang Yunhua knew very well that this was all due to Beiyuan. If Beiyuan hadn't given her the opportunity map, she wouldn't have been able to advance so rapidly and reach this point so quickly. Taking the opportunity map every day, he digs for opportunities everywhere, eats spiritual objects, and collects magical soldiers. Under such circumstances, it is difficult not to become stronger. Beiyuan, when he thought of that person, Zhang Yunhua felt that his empty body was instantly filled with something. His face became a little more rosy, and even the silent, fire phoenix bloodline in his body showed a trace of fiery restlessness, and his whole body felt like it was. The spirit pill is like a miracle drug. When you find Beiyuan, you must repay him well. Zhang Yunhua's face turned red with embarrassment, and he murmured to himself. At this moment, she seemed to have fallen into some kind of reverie, with no defense at all, and a weak state that could be taken advantage of. However, at this moment, in the palm of her right hand, she was holding a colorful phoenix feather without any fluctuation in power. This phoenix feather is her biggest trump card. That phoenix back then not only gave her the fire phoenix body, condensed with phoenix essence and blood, but also gave her phoenix feathers that contained the divine ability of her life. Anyone who dares to think wrongly may feel the legendary wrath of the phoenix in an instant. Zhang Yunhua is not a lucky heroine like Leng Ruobing. Suddenly, a roaring dragon suddenly aroused her vigilance. She turned around and saw a terrifying poisonous dragon with gray-green scales, rotten body surface, and green venom flowing out. Its eyes were ferocious, and it raised its head from behind the volcanic canyon. There was such a monster hiding behind the volcano canyon, and she didn't even notice it. Zhang Yunhua's pupils shrank, and he felt a vague sense of danger in this terrifying poisonous dragon. Just when Zhang Yunhua thought that the terrifying poisonous dragon was about to attack her, he saw that the terrifying poisonous dragon didn't even look at her and ran away into the distance without hesitation. It was as if there was something terrifying approaching from behind. What's the situation? A trace of astonishment flashed across Zhang Yunhua's face, and he was also confused by this sudden situation. Advertisement. Suddenly, a stream of dark purple demon flame swept across all directions and quickly flashed towards the terrifying poisonous dragon. Beiyuan? Zhang Yunhua's expression changed, and he instantly recognized the familiar figure in the dark purple demon flame. Wanna run? Is it too late? Seeing that Lin Xiao chose to run away without hesitation, he had no intention of fighting back. Chen Beiyuan's expression was calm, as if he had guessed it a long time ago. He slowly swung out his right palm, and suddenly a mountain-like demonic flame dragon capturing hand condensed in the sky, and he captured the treacherous poisonous dragon that was running wildly in front of him. Go! Roar! Even if Lin Xiao reacts quickly, the gap between strength and realm cannot be easily bridged. No matter how fast his treacherous poison dragon fighting spirit is, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes it is still far behind. In an instant, the crazily scurrying dragon poison dragon seemed to be a prey in a urn, being trapped bit by the huge, mountain-like demonic flame dragon capturing hand. Chen Beiyuan's eyes changed slightly, and he instantly noticed that there seemed to be some special power emerging from the spiritual poison dragon that was trapped a little bit. That is the power that belongs to Son of Fortune. Seek good fortune and avoid misfortune, and survive the catastrophe. If it were him before, he might not be able to find it. But ever since he got Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique, he could vaguely see something special. Bang! A pair of evil bat wings covering the world suddenly appeared behind him. A huge blood bat with a pale human face actually attacked him, with a sickly smile on its face. Those green eyes were like staring at his beloved prey. The person who came was the 7th on the Void ranking, Bloodbat Aga from the Sunfall Empire. 6th grade Battle King middle level cultivation. Top fighting spirit, Bloodwing Ghost Bat. At this moment, the Bloodbat Yaga suddenly appeared and stared at Chen Beiyuan in front of him with a fierce look on his face. He did not realize that he had been interfered by Lin Zhao's protagonist luck, and he let out an excited howl. Chen Beiyuan, who is 2nd on the Void ranking? Your blood must taste delicious. Bloodbat Yaga, the heir to the Klein family of the Sunfall Empire. The Klein family is also one of the top families in the Sunfall Empire. However, the rumors about this family are not very good. They have always been rich in blood-sucking lunatics. If it hadn't been confirmed within the human alliance that the Klein family had a certain amount of human blood, many people would have regarded them as a different blood race. After all, the Klein family's habit of sucking blood is too similar to that of the vampires. Of course, the vampires do not recognize the Klein family as noble vampires. According to outside rumors, the reason why people in the Klein family have the blood-sucking habit is because the ancestors of the Klein family once captured a powerful vampire monster, extracted its blood, and injected it into the body in order to obtain more powerful monsters. Strength and longevity. Although the ancestor of the Klein family ultimately failed, his descendants were still contaminated by some of the blood and bad habits of the Blood Clan. This kind of thing may seem absurd, but it is nothing. This kind of thing human race has corresponding research within each country. Among them, it is extremely common in overseas countries. Members of those top families have more or less the blood of foreign races in their bodies. While the people within the human race hate the alien race, they are also very coveted for the alien race's power and lifespan. Bloodbat Yaga can be ranked 7th in the Void ranking, and its own strength is also among the first-order existence in the Void secret realm. However, his reputation is not very good. Gain. After entering the secret realm of the Void, whether he encounters a ferocious alien beast or a human race, he will drink all his blood. Such cruel and bloodthirsty behavior is more alien than alien. Now, this blood-sucking monster has directly targeted Chen Beiyuan due to the intervention of Lin Zhao, the Son of Fortune. Such a huge movement naturally attracted the attention of many people. The 7th in the Void list challenges the 2nd in the Void list. This is probably unprecedented big news. This is the first time that the young powerhouses in the top 10 of the Void ranking compete against each other. Jie, Chen Beiyuan, I will accept your blood and your Void order. Anu, kill him. Chen Beiyuan looked calm and spoke without looking back. As soon as he finished speaking, the little ball of flesh riding on his neck jumped out like a spring. Advertisement. The Bloodbat Yaga felt his eyes blurred as a chubby pink fist broke through the void and suddenly appeared in front of him, getting closer and closer. Bang! Bloodbat Aya's giant bat head with a pale human face was half blown off in an instant. The sick smile on his face instantly froze, and his only remaining eye stared blankly at Anu in front of him. Boom! A pair of strange dual pupils came into view instantly, and an overbearing and terrifying dragon power struck directly into his soul, instantly defeating his spirit. He forcibly destroyed the spiritual imprint left in his mind by the powerful 8th grade war emperor of the Clerk family. In an instant, the Bloodbat Yaga felt that his soul was forcibly torn apart and turned into countless fragments, and he suddenly let out a shrill scream. The face of the little silly dragon Anu no longer looked as silly as before, and the cute little chubby face instantly turned cold. Anu is angry. Tear. Those huge flesh and blood bat wings were torn off alive. Then came the chest, limbs, head. At this moment, in the terrifying eyes of countless prodigy of all races, Chen Beiyuan, the chubby cute loli with 2 buns in her hair, just glanced at the bloodbat Yaga. The bloodbat Aga was like a stationary toy, letting it play with it, disassembling the parts on his body bit by bit. Soon, Yaga's head was torn off by her and kicked like a ball. This scene can be called extremely terrifying. Number 7 on the void list. His death was so frustrating and weird. Who is this little girl? After being interrupted by the bloodbat Yaga, Lin Xiao, who transformed into the treacherous poisonous dragon, avoided the capture of the demonic flame dragon capturing hand like a dragon rising into the abyss. Just as he was about to run wildly into the distance, he heard Chen Beiyuan's voice. Certainly. Advertisement. The terrible poisonous dragon, transformed by Lin Xiao, was instantly fixed in midair by the immobilizing curse, unable to move. Behind him, a mountain-sized demonic flame dragon capturing hand grasped its tail like a loach. The hot and terrifying demonic flames instantly scorched the skin and flesh of the creepy poisonous dragon, black, giving off a rich, hot green color. Poison gas. Ah, 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 ah. A humanoid howl of pain emerges from the mouth of the dark poisonous dragon, foreshadowing the pain it endures. Seeing Chen Beiyuan approaching quickly, as if he would appear in front of him in the next moment, a trace of despair seemed to flash in Lin Zhao's heart. He didn't know why Chen Beiyuan suddenly appeared, looking like he was going to kill him. Could it be that he was discovered just now because he wanted to attack Jiang Yunhua? Or is it because of other reasons? No matter what it is, even if he is immobilized at this moment, he has other trump cards, but as long as he can't use them, it won't help. At this moment, Lin Xiao truly felt the terror of Chen Beiyuan and the monstrous demonic flames. Just one move of the holding curse put him in an unprecedented danger. Now, as long as he takes a breath, Chen Beiyuan will appear in front of him. By then, his fate can be imagined. But at this moment, the mysterious ring on the right claw of the treacherous poison dragon, transformed by Lin Xiao, suddenly shone brightly, bursting out with a dazzling light. A white-clothed fairy with a proud figure, fluttering immortal chi, and wearing a snow-white gauze scarf to cover her face suddenly appeared. With a light tap of her jade-like fingers, the calming spell was instantly broken. Shower, let's go. Master! A pair of charming eyes behind the snow-white gauze looked at Chen Beiyuan deeply, as if to remember it deeply. A pair of jade arms directly hugged Lin Xiao, who had returned to human form and fled towards the distance. His escape skills were more than 10 times faster than Lin Xiao's just now. In an instant, it turned into a black dot. Seeing Son of Fortune Lin Xiao's fairy master hidden in the mysterious ring being forced out, Chen Beiyuan was not surprised at all. Instead, he frowned. He looked at the charming and majestic fairy with proud figure and fluttering immortal chi, and he felt even more weird. I finally forced you out. Let me see who you really are. His eyes suddenly glowed with a strange light, and he directly operated Heaven's Child Fortune gazing technique, looking at the top of the head of the beautiful fairy, as if to explore its true origin and essence. But the next moment, his pupils shrank, and a look of shock appeared on Gujing Wubu's face, as if he was frightened by what he saw. There was a hint of disbelief in his eyes, and he murmured to himself, "Where is this? What a beautiful fairy! This horse is Bo Gang, the demon of the mountain." At this moment, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes, the true appearance of the fairy in white with her proud figure, fluttering immortal chi, and face covered by a snow-white veil is actually a snow-white mess with short limbs, a fat head, mung bean eyes, thick lips, and a long moist tongue, with dense spots, a slight beard on his chin, and thick long braids on the back of his head, with a huge mountain of flesh hanging down from his waist. This image is very similar to the mountain demon Bo Gang among the 7 demons in The Adventures of Jackie Chan. The only difference may be that Lin Xiao, the fairy master, is whiter, bigger, and plumper than Bo Gang. This horse riding is a bit scary. It's even scarier than a certain cabaman running around in human clothes in the middle of the night. At this moment, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes, Lin Xiao was almost hugged by a huge mountain of meat, sinking deeply into the snow-white flesh. The whole person looked like a toy. Lin Xiao, however, turned a blind eye and looked at the huge mountain of meat in front of him with a lovely expression, very much like the disciple who rebelled against his master in some novels. An evil spirit who is good at camouflaging illusions, deceiving people, and is in a weak state? Evil god? No wonder this thing was sealed in that desert taboo. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, has hit the jackpot. He can meet such a supreme grade beauty, and he has the urge to compete. He is worthy of being the protagonist of a miracle doctor. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed, and his face was slightly twitching and nauseated. This result was obviously beyond his expectation. If he hadn't possessed the luck divine ability, Heaven's Child Fortune Gazing Technique, which can break the true nature of luck and face the essence, it would be difficult to see through the true face of this beautiful fairy. The fairy master of Son of Fortune is actually such a thing. The contrast is really too big and too scary. Who would have thought that under the appearance of a beautiful fairy, there is actually a devil bow gang who would be killed if he looked at it? He just glanced at it, and it hurt his eyes. It seems that Lin Xiao has been targeted by this thing. According to the normal plot, this evil thing should be parasitic on Lin Xiao, helping him grow little by little, and finally seizes or devours him. Eat it dry and wipe it clean. However, considering that Lin Xiao is the son of fortune in this world, the protagonist of a miracle doctor, with the characteristic of seeking good luck, avoiding bad luck, and turning bad luck into good fortune, he will definitely turn danger into safety in the end, and may even kill this fairy master. Income into the harem? Advertisement. Wait a minute, they really have a romantic relationship? Chen Beiyuan's eyes changed, and he actually saw that the beautiful fairy who looked like Devil Bow Gang had some luck. This is really a bit outrageous. Normally, the evil creature's true cultivation level is probably much higher than Chen Beiyuan's, and may even be as high as 8th grade. Chen Beiyuan, who uses Heaven's Child Fortune Gazing Technique, will definitely suffer a lot of backlash. However, perhaps because this evil thing is in a weak state and its body is still sealed in the Shin Ring, the backlash is not very powerful. Chen Beiyuan can resist easily. At this moment, after having found out some details about this beautiful fairy, Chen Beiyuan had no idea of continuing the pursuit. A skinny camel is bigger than a horse. Even if such an evil thing is sealed, it still has many trump cards hidden in it. There is no need to be stupid and head-on. You can play slowly. In contrast, he was more curious about Lin Xiao's luck and fate. He hasn't used Heaven's Child Fortune Gazing Technique to see how this son of fortune's destiny is. As the son of fortune in this world, his luck and destiny should be number one. Even the top experts cannot compare. A trace of curiosity flashed across Chen Beiyuan's face, and his eyes turned to the head of Lin Xiao, the son of fortune. A dark divine light suddenly appeared in his eyes, as if he wanted to pry into his true side. At this moment, he has prepared the consequences of being backlashed and the corresponding measures. However, the next moment, his face suddenly became stiff, his pupils shrank, and his eyes were full of shock, as if he had seen something even more unbelievable than the true face of the beautiful fairy. Normally, as the son of fortune, Lin Xiao should have a dazzling sun above his head, shining brightly across the sky and the earth, and cannot be looked at. However, at this moment, under the gaze of Chen Beiyuan's Heaven's Child Fortune Gazing Technique, the luck above Lin Xiao's head turned out to be a dilapidated and withered pavilion standing tall in midair, sealed by chains carved with mysterious runes and emitting dazzling light. In the dilapidated pavilion suspended in midair, a small, shriveled body could be vaguely seen trapped by chains. Advertisement. Even though the rune chain emits a dazzling light, it can't cover up the decay inside the dilapidated pavilion. What the rune chain can do is to tightly suppress the decaying energy in the dilapidated pavilion, preventing it from spreading out. Chen Beiyuan paused and stopped chasing. He watched with a silent expression as the black spots in front of him completely disappeared. His dark and deep eyes seemed to be filled with turbulent waves. It's actually a castle in the air. Chen Beiyuan felt as if he had touched upon a terrifying secret that had never appeared in the original work, and glimpsed some of the truth hidden under the terrifying undercurrent. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, the miracle doctor protagonist, has a problem, a big problem. The plane of beasts. Accompanied by a flash of light, two figures suddenly appeared on the plane. However, the figure of the beautiful fairy has become illusory at this moment, like the moon in the mirror of water, which will be completely broken with a light touch. Lin Zhao's face changed slightly, and he looked at the fairy master in front of him with red eyes. He leaned on her body, hugging her tightly, with an anxious and concerned look on his face. "Master, how are you?" "Shower, in order to save you. Master has spent the last bit of his strength and is about to fall into a deep sleep. You have to do the next step yourself. These places of opportunity will be of great benefit to you. You must obtain." The beautiful fairy shook her head slightly and looked at Lin Xiao, who looked worried and anxious in her arms, not fake, and seemed to be touched a little. She stroked his forehead and spoke softly. Her jade finger pointed at Lin Xiao's eyebrows and sent some information about the secret realm of the void. Immediately, the stunning face behind the snow-white veil instantly became dignified, and her expression became serious. "Be careful of Chen Beiyuan. This person is not simple. He hides too many secrets. Before your Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra has great accomplishment, try to avoid his sharp edges and don't face him directly. In every world, a son of fortune will be born at a certain point in time, and he will be protected by destiny. I suspect that Chen Beiyuan is the son of fortune. The nine profound immortal girl has a solemn face, and her stunning and melting face behind the snow-white veil is a bit uncertain. At first, she was just a little skeptical, but when she felt an inexplicable threat from Chen Beiyuan, she became more and more convinced. Chen Beiyuan is not a simple person. As an outsider, she is easily targeted by this world. And Chen Beiyuan's appearance was such a coincidence, and his strength was so unfathomable that even she couldn't see through it. She even suspected that Chen Beiyuan just didn't use his methods just now, but he just didn't catch up because of some ideas. With her body sealed in the Xian ring and only a trace of her soul left, she may not be able to deal with a being suspected of being son of fortune. Although, this person is only a 6th grade war king. Chen Beiyuan is son of fortune? Lin Zhao's pupils shrank, his expression suddenly changed, and he seemed a little unbelievable, and he froze on the spot. Having received the inheritance from a certain ancient power, he naturally understood what son of fortune was. It is an existence that is born with destiny and luck, rises in accordance with destiny, and is destined to lead the direction of the times, dominate the world, and be famous forever. Since the rise of human race, there have been many heroic epics and legendary figures who have created countless miracles. They are all sons of fortune with their own destiny. According to ancient inheritance, the rise of every son of fortune will stir up the world. Countless confidants will gather around him to compose his own mythical legend. If you think about it carefully, Chen Beiyuan was born into a top family in the Donghua Empire. He was born with visions and talents. He was hailed by the master of Heavenly Secrets Pavilion as a born great emperor, and he is very likely to reach the top of the 9th grade god of war. Since growing up, Chen Beiyuan has never lacked confidants around him. Countless top beauties are surrounding him, including the stunning school beauty, the royal sister of the Bai family, the emperor's daughter of the Jiang family. Being on good terms with Chen Beiyuan, almost everyone has received great benefits, and their strength has become stronger step by step. Those who oppose Chen Beiyuan almost never end well. Death is considered a good thing, but the most miserable thing is that life is worse than death. Nowadays, most of Chen Beiyuan's enemies gather in the frontline prison camp to sing songs every night. They have no worries about food and drink, and can experience the feeling of being a bride every day. When these deeds were added up, even Lin Xiao was a little surprised and confused. Advertisement. Because Chen Beiyuan does meet all the requirements of son of fortune. But didn't the ancient great master who left the legacy say that I am the son of fortune in this world? Only son of fortune can inherit the mantle he left behind and inherit the wordless medical scripture and the extreme profundities dragon transformation scripture. If Chen Beiyuan is son of fortune, then who am I? At this moment, the fairy master did not realize that his few words directly made Lin Xiao almost doubt his life. His mood was almost shattered. The castle in the sky, luck destiny above Lin Xiao's head, which was bound by countless runic chains, began to falter. The shriveled and thin corpse in the pavilion also had a slightly depressed expression on its face. At this moment, the rune chains that bound the pavilion and the thin body suddenly shined brightly, blooming with strands of bright golden light, and began to exert a silent influence. Shower, break through the 6th grade War King as soon as possible. You are still too weak now. If you want to get more opportunities in the Void Secret Realm here, you are still a little behind. I only have a little soul power left. I will give it to you. Just when Lin Xiao was confused, the faint murmur of 9 profound immortals came into his ears. But for some reason, the charming and majestic voice seemed to be a little rough. Swish. A touch of dark soul power instantly injected into Lin Xiao's mind, nourishing his strange abyss poison dragon, fighting spirit, instantly making his mental power surge, almost reaching a qualitative change. Master! When Lin Xiao came back to his senses, the white-clothed fairy in front of him had already disappeared. The Xian ring on his hand also became dim. He blankly felt the abundant mental power in his mind that was almost condensed into substance, and looked at the dim Xian ring on his hand again, and there seemed to be a silent warmth in his heart. The slight frustration just now disappeared instantly, and a smile appeared on his face involuntarily. Like the fairy master, who was unreserved and sincere to him. He actually suspected that she had ulterior motives before. This time, if it weren't for the fairy master's help, he would have been doomed. Advertisement. He deserved to die. Master, shower will definitely revive you. Lin Xiao clenched his fists, his face firm, and muttered to himself. Shinring space. I hope this investment can be rewarded as soon as possible. A snow-white meat mountain, with strange spots all over its body, lush hair, and a mouthful of crooked and rotten teeth, struggled to open a pair of green bean eyes hidden in the fat, listening to the lofty ambitions of the young man outside the Xian ring, and a strange smile appeared on his face, which seemed to be a little moved, but also had some other meanings. At this moment, she was completely unaware that she was being interfered with by some kind of luck. There is something wrong with this son of fortune, Lin Xiao. His luck was extremely bad, even very lowly. He belongs to the lone star of the heavenly fiend, and he is unlucky to his father, mother, blood relatives, and even himself. According to common sense, he should not live past the age of 20. But now he has lived past the age of 20 and has become the son of fortune, enjoying the protection of destiny and luck, which is invaluable. It's a good trick, turning the virtual into the real and the fake into the real. Who built him a castle in the air, allowing a mountain boy to ascend to heaven in one step and enjoy destiny? Chen Beiyuan's eyes were dim, as if he had seen through the constraints of space, and through the traction of the devil's thoughts, he saw the figure of Lin Xiao far away in the 10,000 beasts plain. However, at this moment, behind Lin Xiao, there was an unclear fog. Who would have thought that Lin Xiao, the son of fortune in the original book, was actually fake? Behind him, there is actually a mastermind whose face is not clear. This undoubtedly completely overturned the original plot he had read. Sometimes, what you see with your own eyes is not necessarily the truth. It's a pity that in my previous life, the urban medical god's carefree record was still in serialization. At that time, I only saw my destined villain die in Lin Xiao's hands. I came to this world before I saw the subsequent plot. Then, the question is, if Lin Xiao is not the son of fortune at all, then who is the real son of fortune?
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.